All right. Today we're reacting to Bethesda's Starfield problem by the goats drawn out. I reacted to his other one talking about Bethesda thinks that they're a rock star. So it was a good video. So let's see what this one's about. All right.
Life, but Bethesda has been a big part of my life. Alright, I'm not done talking about Bethesda yet. It's not going to be this entire channel's life, but Bethesda has been a big part of my life for a long time, and we gotta talk about Starfield. But let's start with the good. So Bethesda Game Studios released Morrowind in 2002, Oblivion in 2006, Fallout 3 in 2008, Skyrim in 2011? Take a look at this. Do you notice anything? Newer Bethesda fans might be kind of blown away by this picture. They released 3 of their best games. Fallout 3 came out 2 years after Oblivion, and Skyrim came out 3 years after Fallout 3. That's what happens when you have a dev studio that is just focused on making good games. And again, I'm not saying everything is great about these games, but especially for their time, they were something special. And they all released within 5 years of each other. Anyway, moving on. We got Fallout 4 in 2015 and Fallout 76 in 2018.
It's our first major release in about 8 years.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that, Todd? What was that? Oh, okay, so Fallout 76 wasn't really a major release then. Well, in that case, then we have Starfield in 2023. And this is the game we're gonna talk about. So very quick history on the first time we knew about Starfield. 2013 with the ZeniMax trademark, updated in 2018. And then it was, shown at E3 2018. E3 2018,
Okay.
What a fun one.
16 times the detail.
It began the 76 era, and it's where Bethesda first mentioned Starfield and the Elder Scrolls 6. Then nothing. So next came the Microsoft deal. These guys have been pals for a long time, and Microsoft really wanted that big juicy Bethesda IP. You know, the Elder Scrolls and Fallout. But Microsoft thought, maybe Starfield? Real fast while we're talking about this. Microsoft buys ZeniMax for $7.5 billion, pulls Starfield away from PlayStation, doesn't make any new Elder Scrolls or Fallout, and they thought, profit? Do they even like money? Anyway, we do have to touch on the Starfield delays. Originally meant for November 11th, 2022, delayed to early 2023, eventually released on September 6th, 2023. More importantly, I want to talk about why Starfield was delayed. The theory online, or maybe even what they said, is to fix bugs, but I think Microsoft thought it was boring.
It's one of the best things about Starfield, pointing at it. Play on work, on my PC, when I go home, I sit on my console and I go play, and it's just a continuous experience for me, and everything moves. It's fantastic.
Amazing.
They thought give Todd and the boys a couple more years. I mean, they'll come up with something, right? So the Starfield marketing. This one I find kind of interesting.
People really didn't like Starfield. I mean, I know people really didn't like Starfield, but damn, really, like it's that bad? Like it? Okay,
For the whole Skyrim in space thing. Really dumb. There was 1,000+ planets to explore, lots of procedural generation, and it was their first new IP in 25 years. The marketing, to me, explains a really boring space game. If you could just ignore the Skyrim in space thing because everybody knew that that was a lie. Looking at these bottom 3, this looks terrible. And I'm not saying Bethesda shouldn't make a new IP. I'm saying you shouldn't take 8 fucking years to do it. But yeah, there was nothing exciting in this marketing, and people bought this game because of the Bethesda name. Everybody fucking knows that. So Starfield's release, oh look out. Microsoft reported a 1 million concurrent player base. We can confirm 330,000 on Steam. It apparently made about $650 million and only cost about $200 million to make. So it did make money apparently. I mean, you know, hats off to them. But Starfield did not capture the players. And this isn't anecdotal. We have evidence. Real fast, when you first look at this, doesn't this stand out? Especially when compared to this? But yeah, you can compare any of them to the bottom one, and I mean, there is a clear standout here. That is a 98.7% drop. Ouch. Just get that off the screen. That is horrible. So I did a poll about Starfield. Did Starfield feel like a Bethesda Game Studios game? The standout is definitely there at the bottom. But even if we exclude that and just take the 50% on top, one word pops into my head. It's just clear indifference. People do not feel strongly about Starfield at all. These were the top comments. I agree with all of them. Now for me in a Bethesda game, kind of the main reason I play these games at all is for the exploration. I would say I'm probably not the only one here. So if we compare exploration from pre-Starfield to Starfield, before it was walking, accidental, player-driven, and interesting. In Starfield, it is menus, fast travel, and loading screens. When you got to your destination, before it was handcrafted, told a story, and there was something to do. In Starfield, it's generated, maybe a copy-paste structure, and then you just fast travel to the next. Again, I don't think any of this is a unique take, which is kind of why it's so baffling that Bethesda went down this road. How about the random encounters in Bethesda's older games? You can see they gradually go up with each game. How many does Starfield have? 22. How about locations? You can see Bethesda's old games have quite a bit. Starfield has about 23. Now, I know what you're thinking. How many planets do these games have? And I will say you have me, because these games only have one each. And Starfield has over 1,500. I just find it weird that...
That's one thing I do hate about Starfield. Starfield did not need to have all those planets. It should have been more like Outer Worlds, where it was like one solar system. And you can really focus on that. That is one thing that I will admit with Starfield, that they were trying to do too much. I feel like that happens with a lot of games nowadays, is that they try to do too much instead of just keeping it simple and straightforward. But yeah, Starfield definitely did not need 15,000 planets, because there's no reason to go to any of them. Like, I know like they want to make base building and like resource gathering like a huge thing, and you really don't even need to do that in the first place. That's just something that, if you want to do that, you can, but you don't have to do it. There's no reason to. So they didn't need to have all those planets. But yeah.
All of these stats they've all been going in the other direction. Actually, there is a consistent stat in Starfield that has gone up with time, and it is dialogue. You can see dialogue for the previous games go up with time, and Starfield has 250,000 lines of dialogue. That's a lot. Can you remember any of them? Is there a single memorable line of dialogue in Starfield? I can't. We have to talk about the brand damage Starfield did, of course. I think it's reasonable to ask if Bethesda even knows why we like their games. You also have to wonder if they even care, because I mean, 76 and Starfield are apparently pretty monetarily successful. And of course, my favorite question is, where is the Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5? And if I may talk about that for a second, Skyrim to Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be about 16 years. Fallout 4 to Fallout 5 is going to be about 18 years. GTA 5 to GTA 6, about 13 years. Maybe 14, who knows. The Last of Us to The Last of Us 2, 7 years. Uncharted 1 to Uncharted 4, 9 years. Halo 1 to Halo 3, 6 years. Witcher 3 to Witcher 4, 12 years? 12 years about, maybe? Now, to be clear, I think all of these are unacceptable. But I can promise you one thing. The two that are going to take the longest are probably going to be worse.
Yeah.
We got to talk about Emil. He's been the lead designer and or writer on every Bethesda Game Studios game since Fallout 3. Sometimes he does both, sometimes he does one, and he thinks we like building shacks. It is a good possibility that Emil is bad at his job. It's even possible that he's a big reason for Bethesda's downfall. But he is also human. I kind of see it like this. Bethesda Game Studios has 4 locations and about 450 employees. Probably more, who knows. And so I ask, does Emil need to do both of the very important jobs of these games? Does he need to be the lead designer and lead writer? I mean, I guess I'm not a game developer, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Now, I know a lot of people would prefer Emil to do neither of these jobs. The problem is that Emil made it extremely easy for people to single him out.
Let's say, okay, we're going to write the great American novel. It's going to be this thick. And on every page will be written comedy and tragedy, and it'll be wonderful, it'll be amazing. And you're going to give this book, this great American novel, to the player. And what are they going to do with it? They're going to rip out every page and make paper airplanes out of them. And they're going to throw them around the room. And they're never going to see your story. Because the story is there, right? But they are going to spend 30 hours making shacks.
I mean, that's just a disaster. I have to imagine that he didn't expect that to get out. I don't know. But this
kind of see what I think he's joking. That seemed to be more damn. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that does not look good for him. I never even knew who this guy was, but he's apparently he's well known in the Fallout or just Bethesda community. So yeah, that didn't look good.
He was defending Starfield on Twitter. You could pause if you want to read any of them. Again, I'm not trying to like specifically pick on this guy. My advice to Emil would be to please have more faith in the fans of your franchises. That is so hard to say. Just please trust us more. We don't, not all of us just love building shacks, bro. Write that great American novel if you can do it. Just a couple other things Emil said that is like just out of touch. He thinks that Starfield sits right next to Fallout and the Elder Scrolls, which I mean if we just look at it. I mean, do you really think Starfield sits next to these games? It's just fucking stupid. Some other fun examples is Bethesda replying to Steam reviews. I don't know, this has to be a chatbot, it's crazy. Let's talk about some ex-developers from Bethesda. So Nate Perkypile. What a fun name. He was a 14-year artist at Bethesda. Worked on gems such as Fallout 3 and Skyrim. Also worked on Fallout 4. He left during Starfield. He said the team got too big, too many meetings, and he thought he could make his own games. Turns out he did. He made his own game by himself. But all of this just reinforces the idea that Bethesda has become far too big and corporate. They're not that fun game studio anymore, and they have not updated their processes internally in order to really represent that size difference. Bruce Nesmith was a lead designer on Skyrim. He left in 2021. He has criticized the use of procedural generation at Bethesda. I wonder what game he was talking about there. He says it isn't what made Bethesda successful. He much prefers working on handcrafted worlds, and he is worried for the Elder Scrolls 6. Aren't we all? So Kurt Coleman, he is the former lore master for the Elder Scrolls. He claims Todd promised him the lead designer on the Elder Scrolls 6 after Skyrim released. He says it was supposed to come after Fallout 4. Of course, instead we got 76 in Starfield. Kurt claims that Todd eventually gave the Elder Scrolls 6 lead to someone else, and he also criticized communication during Starfield's development. And this one is just kind of sad. He said he was waiting 11 years to be the lead on the Elder Scrolls 6. So moving on, we have Shattered Space. This released on September 3rd, 2024, which was about a year after release. I mean, you know I love comparisons. So if we compare that to Fallout 4, 9 months after release, we had Automatron, Wasteland Workshop, Far Harbor, Contraptions, Vault-Tec Workshop, and Nuka World. And hey, I mean, 3 of those were actually worth playing. For Starfield, 1 year after release, we have Shattered Space. Not worth playing. It bumped the player count up about 5,000 from August to a healthy 22k. You can see that bump right here.
Yeah.
It's right there. Yeah, you can see how that went. So Starfield 2.0. There is absolutely nothing confirmed by Bethesda. The community has made this name up. And I'm sure there will be more updates, but Bethesda hasn't claimed some big overhaul or anything. So if you enjoy Starfield, good, I'm glad someone does. This is nothing personal. We both want the same thing. Can we just agree that it took too long? And real quick, I just want to remind everyone that all of these games had Todd Howard as the lead. So if you enjoyed any of these games, as much as we meme on Todd, I think the games were better when Todd was more involved. The less Todd got involved, the worse the games got. Thanks for watching. I have memberships on for the channel now.
Yeah.
You can join Tier 1 for $1 and Tier 2 for $5. The Tier 1 is really just to support the channel. You don't really get much. And for the Tier 2, I have members-only videos on, which I don't really know what that means right now.
Yeah. I'd say I think he I think he hit the nail on the head. It's a lot of just internal problems at Bethesda. 'Cause I know the other video I reacted to, you was kind of saying it was kind of Microsoft's fault. Nah, I think Microsoft probably just betted on Starfield. But they're not the reason why Starfield was the way that it was, or the way that it is. Cause I don't know. I don't know much about how Xbox leads all their studios, but I think besides like their Xbox game studios, so like I think Playground, people who make Forza, studios like that, they kind of let everyone else kind of just do what they want. They kind of just, I guess, just fund it. So they didn't really have much input on Starfield. But it was like a lot of internal problems. And so I think what he said about Bethesda becoming too big, that might be a problem, because now Todd isn't as I didn't know this. Like, I'm not a Bethesda guy. Like I really didn't like Fallout. I played Skyrim. So, but I really did enjoy Starfield. I'm not joking. I really did enjoy Starfield. I really did enjoy my time. But I didn't know that as time went on, Todd became less and less involved in these games, because I thought he was involved in every single one of them. So I just thought he just or maybe except for 76. I thought he kind of just fucked up on Starfield in the eyes of the general public. So, but yeah, I like Starfield, but a lot of people just didn't like it. So that does kind of worry me about Skyrim 6, or not Skyrim, Elder Scrolls 6, and Fallout 5. That does worry me, but I think they can bounce back. I think they can bounce back. Look, if Xbox could turn around Halo Infinite, they could turn around this shit. All right, like I know it's two different things, but Halo Infinite and Starfield weren't bad games on release. They just weren't the best, and they put the time and the effort in. It's like even if Cyberpunk can make a turnaround, any game can make a turnaround. So I don't know, say game, but I'm just talking about like the developing studios. So they can turn it around. They can fix it. I'm positive. But we can only have to just wait and see. Have to wait and see what they do. So that's all I got. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Looking like she got a body, and she been calling me daddy lately. Want me to put her in Cartier's, and the bitch deserve it. Put in work for the money she earn it. Give me top every night lip service. Never gotta block these hoes, she worth it. I'm out in Abu Dhabi with a